cultural context we live in today makes it increasingly more difficult, at least in the West, for Christian leaders to serve faithfully and fruitfully.
The new bishops coming in are following founding bishops of their diocese. We're 12 years old plus. We've doubled in size in that period of time. We've grown very rapidly, and sometimes you need to stop and catch your breath and evaluate, take stock, and get ready for the next growth spurt.
It's a job that if you're not careful, it's a role that drives you to isolation. And I think in that place of isolation, you begin to lose your joy. And in that, I just think, general kind of fatigue. And I think, coming at it together, recovering our joy in the Lord is how you make it through.
You got lots of people that are, eager for time and attention, and it's really hard to sort of maintain focus on Jesus and, personal spiritual life. It's really hard not to have somebody that you can ask questions about, what normal is and how to interpret things that are happening.
We're looking at lessons learned from some of our challenges. We're looking at issues of burnout and physical, emotional health and well-being that will enable bishops to not just survive, but actually to flourish.
One of the challenges that we as the College of Bishops will have is continuing to build that sense of relationship amongst one another, that sense of trust.
We need each other as leaders, and so to put us in a room with fellowship and encouragement and worship and sacraments was really great.
This has been an invaluable time for us in developing our leadership skills, drawing us closer to Christ in the midst of what we're doing, closer to one another with Christ's love, and becoming a community that's willing to sacrifice for one another in Christ's name.
I think Lewis was right. I think true friendship is formed when you look at someone else in the eye and say, oh, you too? And I think this is a moment where, bishops with far more seniority than I can kind of look empathetically and say, yes, we all struggle with this.
It has been incredibly valuable just to be sitting, with two different groups. The other group of new bishops who are in the same place I am and asking the same question, which in a lot of ways legitimizes my questions. And then the other thing, having the older bishops around to be able to say, this is what we did, this is what we're thinking about.
My hope is that this would be a time where the bishops would feel encouraged, built up, would develop stronger relationships with each other. I've seen them praying with each other more, talking with each other more, going deeper with each other. I've seen deeper questions, much more engagement, unity in their decision-making and their commitments to each other, and a great interdependence.
As we began to do our work together with the leadership of Canon Phil Ashe, we began to realize that some of us bishops needed some backfilling. And furthermore, that we were hearing enough that we needed to share in fellowship to grow closer to one another as we were growing together as individuals in the college as well as the community of the college.
This kind of gathering allows for new bishops to learn from older bishops in a context where they can engage each other and just deal with matters that you can't in the larger context when we're meeting as a college. The Bishops Leadership Academy is a week-long gathering to give them a solid foundation to do Episcopal ministry and Episcopal leadership for the Anglican Church in North America with courage, with faithfulness, and with resilience.
I think there's a restoration of joy in that we come back to who we are, our identity in Christ.
That time is time that we really need, and we all know that we need it, and we say that we need it, and so it's time to make it a priority.
We want it to be in a place that has the kind of beauty and setting to it that encourages the bishops to have these kinds of deep, prayerful, worshipful, biblical, relational times.
I feel enormously kind of fortified and strengthened. And I feel like my kind of hope tank is kind of being refilled. It's just been an enormous gift.